Hey everybody, welcome back to Visual Novel Book Club. I'm your pal Slowbeef. With me, of course, my good friend orenronen.
Hi.
My good friend Devious Vacuum.
Hello.
My good friend Jim.
Hey everybody.
My good friend pullahoko.
Hey ya.
My good friend TurboC.
Oh my god, what a fucking combo.
That was almost the full gambit.
Wow, we find that was beautiful.
4 out of 6.
I kind of be honest, I ran and grabbed one because I thought this was going to be the last episode. Then I remembered that we didn't finish the reading, so...
There's one more episode after this?
There's one more episode.
Yes.
Oh, the penultimate episode, everyone.
Where were we? Rintaro, I think, came to a certain realization. Was that it?
Yes, when we last left our heroes, Rintaro has realized that he has one change left to undo to bring him back to his original timeline. But in executing this change, he will condemn Makise Kurisu to being murdered.
Dun dun dun. Well, that's life.
Yeah, I mean, that's a conclusion that they sort of came to, almost.
That's a conclusion he comes to.
Kind of took him a long time to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad how it hits him so suddenly. But he's been so focused on just accomplishing this that he didn't even think he would make it this far in a way.
Well, it's like, what does the coyote do when he catches the roadrunner?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that's the episode title. Write that down.
Oh, and 1 minute in, we're gonna say some crazier stuff.
We're gonna top that. Okay.
Okay, well, that's your challenge.
The people listening, you know the real answer.
You're in the future.
How funny are we?
So Rintaro goes up to the roof of the Radican building to think about the fact that he has to choose which one of these two girls are gonna die, essentially. He still, I guess in every case, you can still take action to confirm, that Mayuri does die in this timeline, and in this one he does confirm it again.
We kind of go back, and it's like, okay, we're in the timeline where, what is it? She's not being, killed anymore.
Yeah,
but
she has a heart attack at the comic convention.
Yeah, we're still in the timeline where the universe just decides that she dies.
Yeah. And, so he goes to see if she dies, and he's with her, and, she dies saving his life, actually. She jumps in front of that CERN van that's speeding right at Rintaro. She jumps in front of it and gets hit, and that's how she dies this time. So they are kind of involved, I guess, because it's those rounders it's that van that they put the IBN 5100 in and everything.
Yeah, I'm guessing in this timeline they actually have the IBM 5100, so the rounders probably after that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're driving at him, and she jumps in the way and gets hit, and she dies. But as she dies, she is happy about it because she feels like, oh, I was useful. I did something useful, and he's not sure what she means at this time. And but it was she made the choice to die in that moment. And so then that also complicates things because she feels that she actively made the choice, and did she? I don't know.
She feels like it, yeah.
Was it fate that she chose to do this? She chose to save his life? Was that fate? I mean, I don't know.
The attractor field pushed her to push him.
Yeah. So then that complicates things, and Rintaro is still thinking about it, and he does inevitably explain the full situation to Kurisu. He doesn't want to, but she is like, what's your deal? What's going on? She goes up to talk to him, and he explains it, and she is very calm, and she questions... Now that it's happening to her, she questions the sort of world line phenomenon and like what it will be like from her perspective if it shifts to a timeline where she's dead. She wonders if she'll really die or if she will continue her existence from this perspective on a parallel world line. And she says to Rintaro, "The world doesn't revolve around you."
Yeah. And she gets really contemplative here. Like, she gets sort of like, her reaction is not what he's anticipating.
Yeah, and it's also in a way to calm Kyoma a little bit, to just be like, well, look, we don't have any proof that your weird reading Steiner, as you call it, is even working. You know, we have no objective proof, because all we have is that this time travel is even working, because it's one Shinibyo talking over everything, and then Suzuha, some 16-year-old girl who we can't even find anymore.
Yeah. It's not like we've been to 2036 and met her there. We've only experienced, like, even Rintaro's only experienced time travel over a matter of days. And he's not exactly sure why it's working.
So, yeah, and she's like, look, there's nothing to say that this is the only way how time works.
Yeah, and she's also kind of like, you know, I think she's now thinking of her own existence ending, and it's difficult to conceptualize, so she's like, well, how could my consciousness just stop? So she's like trying to be like, that doesn't make sense, so this maybe it doesn't stop, and I'm continuing on this parallel world line.
To me, it was obvious that she was just she was actually panicking, she was trying to calm herself. That's her way of dealing with things.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, and I think she also realized in that moment that, like, he felt like he had to choose between her and Mayuri, and she wanted to choose Mayuri. She didn't want to sacrifice Mayuri for herself. She wanted Mayuri to live. So she's, you know, so she's like handling him.
She's kind of unfair for Mayuri, actually. Because they do tell Mayuri in the end, but they're kind of leaving her behind, like the decision out of her hands, which is kind of unfair. It involves both of them.
Yeah, it does. It really, this I think really highlights how unfair it is. I mean, Mayuri is younger than them, and like 16 seems really young when you're 19, I guess. But she's just as capable as comprehending what's going on as they are.
They really should have stuck to, like, their decision to not tell her, though, if they were gonna to go back at the end and be like, oh, we decided that you're gonna live instead of her now. Yeah. And we just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, actually.
Yeah, in the end, when they do tell her, they don't actually give her any choice. They just tell her what they're going to do.
Yeah. She gets consequences, but not a role in the decision.
Right.
But she is aware. Well, so then, right? Mayuri calls to check in on Rintaro, and he doesn't want to tell her about why he's upset. And he goes to Mayuri's grandma's grave, and he finds Mayuri there talking to her grandma. And, or, you know, not literally, but, I mean, literally, but her grandma's not there. It's her grave. But,
what a twist!
Yeah, her grandma's not sitting there talking to her. And Mayuri says, like, he's basically eavesdropping on her, and she says that she has been dreaming about all the ways that she died in all those other timelines. So the timeline, it's collapsing for her, just like it has for everyone else in all the other timelines where they start to remember stuff. And so he's like, oh, well, she has some awareness of what's been going on. Like, he feels really awful because he couldn't save her from those experiences. Like, they feel like really realistic dreams to her now instead of, like, lived experience. But they're very close. Like, is it really that different from a lived experience at this point? Yeah.
And he starts to realize that, like, what he's been going through, he might not be that unique. It just might be, in his case, it's a much stronger effect of knowing, you know, how his consciousness transferred through these timelines. But it seems to, now this has been like multiple times of people retaining memories through these.
Yeah, and it's just for him, it's more surface level consciousness as opposed to everyone else. Well, of the people that we've seen, we don't know that there's probably more that can retain it pretty easily.
So, and then he talks to her. And I don't remember if they even talk about anything. I didn't write anything down.
She keeps saying in this chapter how she doesn't want to be a burden.
Yeah, and that makes her earlier words make sense.
Well, she gets some good character development. Like, I was really not on board with Mayuri up until the point where she began to show some self-awareness and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm a bother. Or I feel like, he's acting weird, but he doesn't want to tell me. Am I just being a problem for everybody?
Yeah, because from her perspective, Rintaro just suddenly became very distant and
and she brings that up. Like, they used to spend a ton of time together and talk a lot.
It's just that for me, it's a very relatable feeling of, yeah, I'm around these people, but am I just being a burden to them?
Is that how you feel about Visual Novel Book Club, Pulla?
Yeah, every day. All the time.
Well, you don't have to, friend.
But I mean, I think it's a relatable feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's that social imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And she is, she is capable. And I think it's interesting to call back to when she figured out the thing about the pin that nobody else figured out. Mayuri, everybody treats Mayuri like she's not capable of handling this information, but it seems like she probably is, just in a different way. But, she understands the moral implications and the emotional implications, even if she doesn't understand the science.
Mm.
She's smarter than she lets on, or smarter than some of the other characters give her credit for.
For sure. And also, this whole, I feel like for a long time now, Daru has just been gone. Where's Daru?
Where is he?
When's the last time we talked to Daru? Who's Daru?
Yeah, after we, found out that he's Suzuza's dad, he's not as much of a player anymore.
Daru just feels like a plot device.
Because he's comic relief, he's not really a character.
Yeah. At least Daru appears in this chapter. Ferris and Luca are just completely gone from the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Their party's over, so...
Daru goes off and has his own adventure.
Yeah. Well, Daru is such a key part of this. It's just wild to me to think, that he's not being told about any of this as well.
What is he going to say? He's going to make another...
Some pervert thing, yeah.
He's going to make another Moe reference.
They just bring Daru in whenever some kind of magic computer shit needs to get done. And then he goes back to his room. What
I'm saying is, this is how people always treat programmers. They have these big ideas for feature development, and they're your friend when you can implement it for them, but they just all want to talk about their ideas, and you're just there to implement it.
Yeah,
anyway.
They send him back to his cave, creepy little pervert. They treat him like that.
Daru's been arrested.
Here, you do all the programming and stuff, and I'll make up all the ideas.
I'll take all the credit. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Anyway, later Rintaro finds Kurisu lying on top of the Radican building while it's raining. She's just sitting there. It starts raining, and she's just still sitting there and doesn't realize that it's raining.
Is this timeline where there's still a hole in the roof?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It's definitely, the artwork has a hole in the roof.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's happening. And she doesn't even notice it's raining. She's freaking out so much about how she's gonna die, obviously. And Rintaro goes and says, "Hey, it's raining," and she's like, "Oh, is it?"
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, and then it starts to rain really hard, and enough to force both of them to go inside the building, where they have a romantic moment.
Aww.
I thought this was a really good moment about the sewing kit, but somebody else go ahead and describe it.
Yeah, Rintaro, he's running inside and he catches his jacket or whatever on something and it gets torn. So Kurisu pulls out this sewing kit, and Rintaro is just shocked that this brilliant scientist girl would have a sewing kit on her. He cannot get over it.
He says, "I can't believe you'd be you'd be domestic. You're supposed to be some science-loving girl."
He also makes this kind of, I guess, time traveler's joke, where it's like, it's almost like you predicted that you would need this sewing kit. Like, the implication that she time traveled and knew that she would need to have it. But no, she just has it. And then she sews it. It's, I think it was something like it was dark, so they couldn't tell exactly what color thread they picked.
Right.
Yeah, they're sitting in the darkness. There's an entire thing about how they have to take off the clothes, and she's afraid she's going to see him, but they can't, and yeah.
Right. So she just picks a color, and it's a not matching color with the jacket, but it's fixed.
It's pink, right?
Yeah.
Like
Pink.
pink.
He says, "I hope it's not pink." And
Yeah,
then
that's right, yeah.
So of course it's
Yeah.
pink.
That's right. Right, yeah.
And she's like, but she's also like, "What do you think? This is like just this is just a coincidence. Like this isn't. It's not like a time travel thing that she like went back and was prepared this time to sew up the hole. Like it's just a coincidence," which was just a neat moment in a story about time travel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of stories about time travel, this is a little bit off on a tangent, but a lot of times people who read through these will plot out the entire course and then like make little videos or clips or whatever explaining like what everything is like from someone else's perspective. And so you get and that's Oren sort of reminded me of this for like, you know, Rintaro might be doing his normal shtick and then suddenly immediately super depressed, and I wish I have to see if there's something like that out there for Steins Gate.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see like what everyone else sees.
Have someone have mapped out what it's like from the other perspectives.
Mm.
So let's see. Kurisu also suggests that she has been having memories of alternate world lines, and she also sort of interprets this effort as Rintaro being in love with Mayuri. And she kind of like makes these like asides. She's had a lot of asides this whole time. That's like, oh, like you love Mayuri and not me is the implication.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I could never ask. She could never ask Rintaro to save her instead of Mayuri. And they both kind of set their resolve. And Kurisu just really doesn't want Rintaro to feel bad about this decision. So she's trying to manage his emotions and like not let him know how much she's afraid to die.
I forget whether it's this one or the other route where she actually kind of gets mad at him.
No, that's the other route, because in the other route he insists that he's going to save them both.
Yeah, in this route it's more easy.
Yeah.
And this one, she's sort of making sure that there's barriers between them. Like she doesn't want to get too close. So like, you know, when they sit down together, he sits near her, and she's like, "Don't get any closer than that." Like just to have like this physical distance between the two of them. Whereas if she didn't think that he was doing this for Mayuri, I think she would probably be more open, even if she knew she was going to die.
Look, you have a time machine. You could probably save me. Come on, let's just think about this
Let's
a little
spitball
more.
this.
So later, then when Rintaro goes back to the lab, Kurisu, I believe, emails him a quote that's basically to do what has to be done. And then right before Daru and Rintaro are going to do the thing, which is hack Echelon, or delete it, or whatever. Delete the
Yeah, the
email.
entire thing was to hack in and delete the first email, which supposedly puts all this in motion.
Excuse me, D-mail?
Yes, D-mail. Delete the D-mail.
Sorry,
And,
proprietary.
Daru, like, sets it up and is, like, here, all you have to do is press enter and then it's done, and I want you to do it.
In this route, first he tells Mayuri everything.
Yeah, well, right as they're about to do it, Mayuri arrives, and that's what I was gonna say. She, like,
No, is
interrupts
it?
them, right?
No, it's not.
No.
He goes back to the lab and Mayuri is there, and he just and he talks to her and decides to tell her everything. Because I think she says once again she doesn't want to be a burden, and
Yeah, she kind of confides in him.
yeah, it talks to her about like, what if there's something I'm keeping secret from you that would really hurt you if you know? Would you like to know? And she says yes.
Oh, right, and then he explains it as Ho in Kyoba.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says everything that's happened, all the horrible things, but he says it as Chudipyo mode.
I don't want to be a burden. Well, I've been driving myself insane trying to save you.
But it's really my fault.
Oh
I've destroyed so many dreams, you can't even really fathom it.
And Mayuri makes a comment that she thought that she's like, is the secret that Kurisu and Rintaro are dating?
Yeah.
So they both think that, about the other one.
And so after he does tell her
she's really upset, obviously.
She wants to see Kurisu. She's like, I need to see her.
So they call Kurisu and she wants to meet them to Akihabara station like at 4 a.m.
Yeah, and it's like she's packed and leaving.
Yeah, they go meet her and she has a suitcase with her. And they realize she's about to go back to the United States.
She reassures Mayuri, like, this is what we're supposed to do, and she tells Mayuri that Rintaro loves her. That Rintaro loves Mayuri. She just says it like that, which is funny.
I would not be above that. Like, I'm gonna die for this girl. It's like, hey, by the way, your man likes me. Sorry, fuck it. I'm gonna die. Fuck it.
You might forget this, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who the hell knows what goes on in this wacky world of ours?
Oh my god.
And Kurisu, she does say, like, just think of it as me going to America because, you have no proof otherwise.
Oh my god.
America is death.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Chris.
With the healthcare system, I might as well be dead. Hey! Got it anew!
Slides backward and beyond the sliding doors.
Wow.
But the way they're doing it, the world line is changing when Chris is sitting in economy class, probably. It's really a sad way to die.
Yeah, like, would she splurge on, like, a deluxe ticket, or would she still fly coach on the off chance that she doesn't get erased?
Yeah, what if you didn't get erased and you're like, God damn, I spent way too much money on this flight.
Like 2 hours into the flight, it's like, Jesus damn it.
I can't believe I lived. Damn it.
Oh well, peanuts.
I overcharged to get the best first class seat I could.
Rintaro, can't you do anything right?
Rintaro, can you erase me? I charged up so many diners on my card.
I need you to write another Gmail, Rintaro.
Okay, I do want that lottery number now, thanks.
Just one more.
Just this one.
God. Also, when Kurisu tells Mayuri that Rintaro loves Mayuri, Rintaro says that he loves her back to Mayuri. Like, he's like, yeah, I guess I do. Which is, like, really unconvincing. I don't buy this at all.
Yeah, this entire ending is unconvincing.
It really seems like these two are just clinging to each other because they have to. Because, like, if they don't, then this is all meaningless. So he saves her.
Sunk cost fallacy is not a good premise for a relationship.
No, it's not.
God.
Well, I fucked up space and time to save this girl. I might as well.
I literally killed you. I literally killed a person and ruined 3 other people's lives. But, hey, you better be worth it.
Oh, you want to break up with me after I did all that for you?
Yeah, like, what? Oh my god. She better not die for some other reason.
It's the time travel equivalent of ordering the lobster at dinner. And it's like, yeah. No, but...
I literally rearranged space-time, but yeah, sure, I don't talk enough over dinner. That's it, I understand. Yeah, let's break up.
Friends after all that?
That's literally the rest of their life.
The Reddit relationship posts, my boyfriend fucked up space and time to try to save me, and now I don't know.
Dear our relationship.
My boyfriend, male 19, completely realigned goal of existence for me, female 16. I'm just kind of bored.
Oh my god.
God, what Reddits do you think they all post on?
Well, they all, I guess, like, what's the modern version, what's the Reddit version of the Chan that they all post on? You know, like...
Even I can't.
Yeah, I would know that, actually.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Our science. When I was in grad school, my friend's boyfriend was a moderator on one of the, like, science Reddits, and I was like, wow. I finally met a Reddit moderator.
I'm impressed. Wow.
I'd save space-time. I'd modify space-time for you. Hey. Woohoo.
That's everyone. We're gonna give out Steins Gate themed Valentines for Valentine's Day this year.
Steins Gate pickup lines.
It comes with a little lollipop and a picture of Rintaro, and it's like, I changed the timeline for you, babe.
It's like one of them, it's got a picture of Rintaro that says, hey, I'll come and pick you up yesterday.
That fits.
So, they head back to the lab, and Daro hacks into CERN to delete the D-mail. As he hits the enter key, the divergence meter appears. It's over 1%, and we get kind of a short ending.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of some sky, and everything, and a narration from Rintaro that, like, everything worked out, Mayuri is alive, everything went back to the way it was. And it ends with...
and none of us feel guilty about it.
Yeah, nothing has changed, and yet this is my utopia, is the ending.
Well, there's one more thing after the credits.
Ah, yes, after the credits, confirmed. Mayuri lived. They destroyed the phone wave.
And Rintaro is dating her for some reason.
Yeah. And they get some shaved ice together, and Mayuri explains, like, she basically talks about that she's getting little memories about Kurisu. But he's like, oh, that must have been an angel who told you that, or something like that. He doesn't say anything about Kurisu.
There's that, but there's also this fucked up subtext where it's like, after all of that, Rintaro is now extremely clingy with Mayuri and gets panic attacks if she just walks somewhere and comes back.
Well, at least give him a few
Yeah.
years, man. Like...
I mean, how many times did she die? Yeah, I would be fucking
happened.
clingy as shit. I mean, yeah. What the...
You've been in the bathroom a long time. Are you okay in there?
Am I gonna have to make another fucking time machine?
You can't explain this one to a therapist.
Yeah, you can try.
I mean, you could, but you know, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I think you may want to do some inpatient treatment from now on. Yeah.
Well, if you die again, like, oh my god, if she dies again, I fucking erase the one person who could build the time machine to save her.
I think it would be okay, because if she died again, he'd just be like, well, it's not my fault this time.
Yeah. He seems like a real rational dude that way.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. What you can do?
Glass half full. That's Rintaro.
Oh my god. So that's the first ending that we got of Steins Gate.
I didn't like it much.
No, it was not satisfying.
I don't think anybody did.
Disappointing that I think that the ending most people will get if they're not following a walkthrough.
Yeah, well, because the next ending...
It's pretty obvious. Like, if you got this organically, I think my first thing would be like, shit, I should have been playing with a walkthrough, which is a bad feeling.
I wouldn't have minded so much if, like, then the path to the, I guess, the next ending we're going to talk about weren't fairly obtuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
'cause
It's
Or, like,
it's really difficult to get it by yourself.
Yeah, like, I don't see a logical kind of path to it. Like, it's one of those things after the fact, yeah, alright, maybe, but I don't get how you would get this without just...
Even so, you basically have to guess what the correct answers to the emails is.
Yeah.
And you gotta go 6 for 6. And if you get any wrong, you're out.
You have to date a woman correctly. And we all know how hard that is, right?
Am I right, fellas?
Yeah, it's like you need a fucking time machine. Yeah. Yeah.
So, for our next playthrough, we basically made the correct decisions, all except for one, to unlock the Kurisu route, I guess.
Which is almost the same as the Mayuri route, with some...
Yeah. And there were some bonus, some extra material, or some changed material, the different playthrough. So, if you want to know all the right answers to the text messages from Kurisu, you can look that up online. But let's just talk about the extra scenes that we saw.
And basically, it starts by the choices you make them have like a little back and forth in emails, like just strengthening the friendship. Yeah. But then if you do that right, then you get Rintaro comes across Kurisu crying on the phone.
Yeah, this is her big character development moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When does that happen? In
Chapter 4, she's outside of the lab, sitting on a bench, and he runs into her, and he overhears her talking to someone who doesn't want to see her, and she traveled all this way, and he doesn't, he's like, no, I'm not, I don't need to see you at all, or or whatever. He hears her reaction to what, you don't want to see me, and that kind of stuff.
And we've talked about did we say who this was on the other side of the phone?
Rintaro doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know. He thinks it's a boyfriend at first.
And we don't know who it actually is.
Oh, yeah?
Yet, so Turbo, but don't say anything.
Well, we all know. But
We'll know in a minute, yeah. We'll know in a minute.
It was funny, though, that he thought it was a boyfriend.
Well, we'll know who it is, but we haven't seen the character yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we might see that character in the true ending.
Hooray! Well, I would hope so. Also, but she doesn't say she doesn't talk about it at the time. She just sees Rintaro and then runs away, and so then he just goes back to the lab to read @channel some more. And I think he focuses he specifically focuses on her username more this time. He mentions it to put you out there in case you didn't realize.
Is in the lab, and she's also there, and she's really upset, and he's trying to figure out what's wrong with her.
And she goes, "I was not crying."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was not.
She runs up only to say that.
Yeah, and she won't leave. She just sits on the couch and pouts, but she also won't tell him what's wrong.
So then he says some really nice things to her.
Yeah.
And he keeps in the narration, he keeps saying about how he's saying all of these things just because he needs her to be useful for him and just tricking her, but obviously he's doing it because he actually cares.
Yeah, it's funny how he tries to distance himself or lie to himself about how he feels about her in his narration. And he's like, how do I know this will work? Because I too have few friends. Ha 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 ha. What a mood. I love that line.
Yeah, so basically it tells her that she can talk to him about anything and he'll be there for her.
And they all will.
Yeah. So she tells him about that she was talking to her father, who she hasn't talked to in years.
And we've had a few interactions talking about Kurisu's father before, but not really anything about their relationship. So this is pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, she has kind of a messed up relationship with her father, where she, at a young age, was showing she was really smart, and she wanted to get involved in the things that he was involved in so that she could discuss them with him.
And this is in Chapter 5, by the way.
I learned time travel from watching you, Dad.
Yeah. There are some other little things in between then, but I think this is the main thing.
This is the main thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And her father grew to resent her for it because she became better than him at the stuff.
Yeah.
This is fucked. She was in 6th grade?
Yeah, said 6th grade. And that they started arguing, and then eventually she just started winning the arguments.
Is it too late for this? Sorry, go ahead.
And it's implied that that's why basically her parents divorced eventually.
This is so fucked.
And Kurisu's asking, do you think that's why, we have such a strained relationship? And he's just, yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah. He's Rintaro is like, obviously, like, he thinks he can't stand that you're smarter than him. But then he's like, okay, she's like, I want to reconcile with my father, but she doesn't know how. Rintaro obviously doesn't think very highly of her father. He's like, what kind of father would do this? And so but at the same time, he pulls up his calendar and is like, okay, when are we doing this? So he's not like, fuck that guy. He's like, okay, well, when are you gonna go see him? Like, let's go. I'll go with you. And he goes, I'll go anywhere in the world, but I don't have passport or money.
Which is the first version of Meatloaf's I'd do anything for love.
Then she tells him it's in Aomori, and he's upset about that.
Yeah, it's too far away. Yeah, but he's like, I'll go with you to Aomori. And she does want him to come with her, and she's touched by... I love how he's like... he's like, I'm gonna fix it. Like, let me fix it. I'll fix it. I'll go with you. I'll fix it for you. It's cute.
Sorry, I just can't get over losing the argument with the sixth grader. Like, of course they got divorced.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
Yeah. And that's also kind of implied in there is that, like, during this whole thing of him treating his 6th grade daughter like crap, the mother's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm out.
Yeah, shit.
I'm even trying to put myself in those shoes, like, if like, just like what I would say or my wife would say if we lost the argument with our daughter in 6th grade. Like, what do you mean lost the argument? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you lost a science argument? Hold on, wait, back up, Ugh.
But I guess...
Oof. The tweets I'd write. Sorry.
It's hard to relate because none of us have, like, a life's work, Like... This guy was just, like, all about time travel, and I guess he didn't do anything else with his time. He didn't, that was his big thing.
But, like, I don't know. I guess, not that I've been a parent that long, but you have this inherent sort of thing where you want your kids to do better than you.
Right?
Like,
I thought so.
Yeah, if seriously, if one of my kids in 6th grade, like, just went through fucking Bloodborne without dying, I'd be like, this is the shit! Are you serious right now? Look at this. Fuck me. I mean, they'd have to be recording and talking over it, too. Like, that was just like...
It's more like, what if your kid in 6th grade got a job at your company and became your boss?
But even with that, I mean, like, there are a lot of shitty parents out there who get jealous of their own kids. I mean, that's a thing that happens. This is just a really shitty person. That's, this guy sucks. And he's like...
Yeah.
Hopefully the rest of us have had, like, decent parents... Or are decent parents, so, like, that isn't something that would happen.
Like, I can understand getting a little upset about that, but after, like, taking a few seconds to cool off, you'd be like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Or that he would never deal with it, because it's been, she's, 18, 19 now, and 6th grade is, like, 12, so he's had, like, 7 or 8 years to deal with this, and he still hasn't. Like, that's too much.
Yeah, she said that after her father left... she became depressed until her mother decided to move them to the United States. And that was like 8 years ago, and she hasn't spoken to her father since.
And probably, I don't know, who knows from his perspective, but it would be more likely that he wouldn't even acknowledge that the reason why he treated her so bad was because he was jealous.
Yeah.
To him, it was probably just like, oh no, I was too busy with work, and I just didn't have, I didn't have time for children or family or stuff. And that's why I'm not married and I don't have a relationship with my daughter. Like, he would never actually realize, like, oh no, I totally felt inferior and started, completely putting all this of my own issues on my daughter. Now she had to deal with that for all this time.
Or maybe everyone knew, and that's why he was rejected by the scientific community.
Yeah.
Dude, you got played by a grade schooler. Nah, you don't get to publish here.
He made the mistake of ranting to people the next day, and now they just won't let him live it down.
Yeah.
Or he was just like, oh, I totally won this argument, right? And people are like, no, you did not.
No,
that's totally wrong.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what he would do. He would, like, get somebody at work to referee and be like, no, you lost.
He was a time travel researcher, right? And she obviously must have won the arguments because she was like, time travel's impossible. And now it turns out time travel is real. So how about that complicated emotion? That's...
Yeah, that's something.
I guess Dad's not so stupid anymore, he yelled at his 8th grade daughter. Sorry, but,
And that's why I founded CERN.
In surpassing him, like, she is able to do, like, she's doing the thing that he has been trying to do this whole time, right? Theoretically.
Well, she's about to be erased, is the thing.
Well, yes.
Well, not on this timeline, right?
Well, but another scene that is different in chapter 10, when they're talking and they're wet on the stairs, Kurisu calls Rintaro a motherfucker in English.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is extremely good. They let Rintaro say fuck, and I am happy about it, honestly. It's really funny. Just like pulling motherfucker out of nowhere is so funny because it's just like a kid using the worst swear that they know. Yeah, and so as like we referenced earlier, he talks about saving both of them.
Yeah. Before that, I mean, throughout the game, the big scenes are in the beginning, but throughout the game, there are like all kinds of like little divergences from the regular playthrough, where it just shows that she cares about him more obviously. Basically because he agreed to go with her to meet her father.
Yeah, and she references that multiple times in other little moments, and when she reacts a little differently to the part where Rintaro is trying to figure out that he has to agree to be Luca's boyfriend for 3 days or whatever. She's more sensitive to it and is like, well, do you like anybody?
Yeah.
And of course, he's like, I don't think so.
Being a teenager is just the worst. I'm really glad that's over.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to do his things with Moeka, she's really upset he doesn't contact her. She's really worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it plays the same until the staircase scene, where they have a big fight.
Yeah. And Rintaro's like, no, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to save both of you. And, yeah, it's a lot more emotionally charged. But it's still all, like, it was a little more awkward after having seen it the first way to see it this way, because it all kind of, like, ends similarly, and it just feels weird, because it's like, and then it was over, and then we moved on, and, like, there was this big explosive argument.
No, and in this timeline, she walks away, like, mad from him, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, instead of like in the first ending, she told him to leave
because he can't over it. He can't get over it. He wants to save them both, and he's not willing to like give her up.
And they're both their emotions are a lot more frayed. Like they're trying to be like in the first time we see this, that they're trying to sort of be noble about it and not betray too much. But now like they've got these raw emotions that are so close to the surface that they're coming through. Right now in anger.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he does try all these ways to save Mayuri using the time leap machine. And he even, I think, lists out some of them in, like, absurd ones, but he like, tries again, like, multiple times to try to figure out some other way to save her from dying.
Like, I remember there was one where they take her to the hospital before she has the heart attack.
Yeah, he takes her to the hospital.
Yeah, he gets her admitted. Yep. Even though she's healthy.
Yeah, and the one where it takes her overseas. And
oh yeah, it goes to like South America or something.
Yeah.
I want to see that one. I want to see how that played out. Like, does she just get, like, I don't know.
Well, she died, spoiler.
Way to go. I didn't know that.
Go back a couple days.
He realizes, just like the other endings where he repeats over and over again, in the end, all he's doing is running away.
Yeah, it's implied that he's spending months doing this. Like, it's a very short narrative sequence, but it's implied he's like spending months of his time trying to save her.
Yeah, and at the end he's only going back 26 hours, he's not even going back the full amount he can.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, well, I'm not really trying. And he's like, maybe I've accepted this at this point.
Yeah, he gets to a point where seeing her die no longer phases him.
Yeah, he said it's almost like he's a gamer trying a particularly hard section of the game.
We can all relate, right?
Am I right, gamers?
If only you could save scum your life.
So then he is in the lab, and Kurisu I guess, comes up and is like, "Are you trying?"
Wait,
to...
I just thought about the time they went to South America. So basically, they went to South America. She died, and then they had to fly back to get to the time leap machine.
Oh my god, I
Wow.
hadn't thought of that.
Well,
That must have been a fucked up flight back.
That's me awkward.
Or maybe he called Daru, like, can you send an email? Just tell me not to go to... No.
Oh my god. So then there's this very important scene here where Rintaro is in the lab after realizing this and all of his efforts to save Kurisu. And she talks to him, and they're talking, and Rintaro realizes that he's in love with Kurisu, which is why he can't deal with her dying.
I like
And
this.
they kiss.
Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah, you tell me
That's
tell me
nice.
the story. Tell me what happened.
So if I remember, no, yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, I remember that part for sure. No, because I think she kisses him first, right? And she's like, I just want to make sure you remember this. Then, if I'm, you know what I mean, like if I'm going to be erased or whatever, I want to make sure you remember me.
She tells him to close his eyes and doesn't get it until she actually kisses him.
yeah. And then she's like, you have all these fantasies in your head, so I know you built up your first kiss, so you're definitely going to remember that one.
Yeah, that's right. She's like, and then didn't she go into like the science of it too, like why he'd remember it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, well, it's not actually my first kiss. And then his narration is like, I gotta go for it. And then he says, I guess we'll have to do it again.
Good shit. I'm sorry. Like I totally.
It's extremely good.
Yeah, I was totally down with this.
And like this whole sequence, like the whole thing of sort of, because we're compacting it for time, but like it is a nice sort of drawn out sort of sequence that really makes a lot of, like, has a lot of emotional weight to it.
Yeah.
Whereas like you didn't have any of this with the Mayuri.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, or Faris, or you know what I mean. This is like the one that's like,
This is.
yeah.
Yeah. This is the true love story, for sure.
Yeah, because the entire reason that we get close with Kurisu is we kind of realize that she is the one that has always been helping us through this, like every time.
See, like the way I look at it is there's a big fat Japanese guy with a cigar, and he's telling the writer of Steins Gate, like, nah. You make these Otomi visual novels, you gotta have this Rintaro guy hook up with all the girls, you know? And then they write it, and he's like, no, see, though, this is the only ending that works. Thinking he convinces the Hoshi, let's call the guy with the cigar, but at the end, of course, Hoshi's like, yeah, whatever, just ship it, you know. But I think it was a good effort
Hoshi
either way.
Paisano.
Yes, exactly. Rocko Takahashi, we'll call him. But
I like that you pointed out that he had the cigar.
What happens next? This is a really heartbreaking scene.
yeah, it is.
So Mayuri doesn't come with him to see her off at the airport. They just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, she still does the leaving for America thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to see Mayuri or Daru in this one. She's just like, listen, you're going to see me off, and that's it, because I can't deal with them right now.
And by the way, by leaving for America thing, you mean leaving for America?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Anyway, okay, good.
Huh? Yeah, I
Welcome
guess.
to America. So, then they have it all set up. Daru has it set up, and Rintaro is doing his speech again, right as he's going to press the enter key, and as his hand is moving to touch the enter key, it's already started moving. Kurisu bursts into the lab and says, "We didn't say goodbye," and then he presses the button.
And then Taro goes, I kissed that girl. Oh.
And also, she never actually told him how she felt. He tells her, but she doesn't actually say it. She just kisses him. And she's like, oh, and I think something at the end was like, I also, and then that's when it just fades to black.
Yeah. God. Ugh. I hate it.
Aw.
And the beta timeline is restored, and Rintaro realizes what just happened, and he immediately breaks down crying over.
Yeah, he's trying to like give a victory speech in his
That's right.
Kyoma mode, and then Mayuri says that his face actually looks like he's about to cry. It's really sad.
It is.
Yeah. Mayuri and Daru comfort him while he cries over it, and the ending description, I think, is about the same otherwise. They say that they destroyed the time leap machine, or they destroyed the phone wave.
In both times, I think it finds the article that about Kurisu's murder. And I think Daru tells him that the police actually questioned him because he was there.
He was the one that found the body.
But yeah, that's the ending.
True ending. What a downer.
It's really sad. I can't fucking believe that they played with our hearts like this and had her say it right. Who's about to push the button? Oh my god.
What do the kids say? Like, I can't believe Maki's Karasu is fucking dead. But
oh my god. So next time, the true ending.
Yeah, and not much to do. Just go back to that last choice where I told you to fag it up and choose the correct one, and you will get the true ending.
What do we think is going to happen?
It's just a straight read through. There's no choices in the true ending.
I don't know. I think that what's going to happen is something that I think should have happened in this ending. So we're left with kind of this goodbye to Kurisu, but I think it would have been more engaging because Kurisu was told that she was going to be murdered, or she was murdered in the other timeline, and it never kind of comes to anybody to be like, well, who did it? Like, if you're going to go back to the time where I was murdered, can you, like, if this is hard for you, could you just, like, figure out who did it? You know?
Could you be the one who did it?
look, this isn't fucking Ghost Trick, okay? We can only fix one person here.
Isn't it?
Come on, can it be Ghost Trick? Can we just make the game Ghost Trick, please?
Isn't Ghost Trick so good? But
yeah, it is.
Every game should be Ghost Trick.
if only there was somewhere you could watch a playthrough of me and Jim playing real. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just gonna say, I think that see, it is implied, even though, like, in order to save Mayuri, he had to jump timelines, but it isn't implied that Kurisu has to die in that timeline. I don't know if she's as fated to. So I think my guess is just that I think because there are other time travelers out there, someone else is going to have to get involved in order to save Kurisu.
Who do you think that person is that has to get involved?
I think Suzuha's coming back.
Oh, I think it's Kurisu's dad.
Oh, really?
I think they have to get Kurisu's dad to invent time travel so they can save her.
Oh.
I think Suzuha is the one who is her assassin, though, so she'll be involved somehow.
Yeah, like, it could be, because, like, but I mean, she is John Titor, right? I think it's implied that she's John Titor, and she was both times John Titor, so I think, like, it wasn't just the one time she came back, and then that got changed, and now she's never doing it again.
Once a Titor, always a Titor.
All right, I guess I was the only person who couldn't stay, who got impatient and just went for it, and already knows what happened. So,
Well, I already, me and two both.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Aaron already knows, and I already know.
Yeah, people who know what happens don't have to say anything.
oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. I read it only to
Well, I don't know.
the ending we're supposed to.
All right, folks. Well, we will see you next time for the true ending and our thoughts and the ending of Steins Gate, and this will get posted in June or something. So,
Of
hi.
2020.
Place your bets.
Everybody go out and vote.
I hope you eat lots of turkey.
All right. Later.
That's Icon Guru.
Elsa
Sai
Kung
Kung
Fu.
Fu.